All right, guys, welcome to another episode of The Final Whistle. This is episode 9. I'm here with Ibn. Ibn, what's going on, man?
I've been good, though this semester, but I'm not coming home as I told you already. But yeah,
When is this mess over?
it's been over. I finished last Wednesday, Thursday?
And you're not coming home?
No. Y'all keep Jersey. I'll see you like
Okay. And we have a special guest this episode. Is my good friend Derrick calling in from Texas. Derrick is also a Chelsea fan. And so Derrick, what's up, man? Welcome to the show.
I'm doing really well. I'm glad that you guys invited me to join this podcast. I am not very happy because Chelsea lost their game this weekend. So, but beyond that, I'm good.
Well, that's a good segue because we're going to start with that. So,
welcome aboard.
Welcome aboard. So Chelsea season started off very well. I'm pretty sure all you guys would agree. We kind of like overachieved a bit. We were playing great attacking football, scoring goals. Tammy Abraham was leading the league in goals, and Mount was a revelation, and Pulisic came on, and there's so much good coming in, but we always had a problem with defending, right? But we're scoring enough goals to kind of cancel it out. We're running 3-2 and 4-3 and that kind of result. Now, Chelsea has lost 4 out of the last 5, right, in the league. We lost to City. We lost at home to Bournemouth. We lost at home to West Ham, right? We lost away to Everton. What has gone wrong? Derrick, I'm going to start with you because, what happened? What happened where we were so good to start the season, and then with the same players, it seemed like things are not going as well?
Yeah. There are quite a few different things that I feel may be contributing to this, and this is just my hypothesis. At the beginning of the season, Chelsea was doing great against a lot of, probably all of the teams which were not in the top 6. And we all know who those culprits are. It was Manchester United, City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Spurs, all that. We were not doing great with those teams, but we're doing great with all the smaller teams. And so what my thought was, okay, maybe we have the guts to meet all these small teams because there's no pressure, because we feel we can win. And so we go to those places and then we grind the win.
And that can take you far in the season too.
Yeah, that can until recently that hypothesis changed, because I realized that after we lost I think Manchester United in the EFL Cup, we were like, oh, that doesn't really matter. It's not really the league, that thing. And we went into losing against City. We're like, yeah, it's City. Anybody can lose against City, And
but
then we started.
Your point, when we lost that EFL Cup, or Carabao Cup, it's now, we beat Watford 2-1. We tied Ajax 4-4. We beat Crystal Palace 2-0. So it wasn't the end of the world. We didn't fall off.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm really happy you brought out that point, because Ajax was a really tough game, and it was a miracle. If we're being honest with ourselves, Chelsea was extremely lucky to come out of that game with that draw.
That's
and
true.
It's actually very disappointing that Ajax couldn't make it out of the groups, but that's a different conversation. However, I feel like Chelsea was not doing great against the teams that actually come to compete. Any team in the top 6 or any really good Champions League team like Valencia or Ajax, all the games we had with them, it was a struggle for us, And so more recently, when we started to lose against the likes of West Ham and Bournemouth and more recently Everton, and I was like, whoa, that is not true. Actually, it doesn't seem like we are ready. And so now I'm beginning to think that did these young players come into the season feeling like, well, maybe we have the confidence to play against these small teams, and then when it gets to the big teams, they all, capitulate, or they feel like, oh, this is a big team, they don't know what to do, and then they end up losing it. And this could actually be a combination of different factors between what the players are doing and also, Lampard as a manager who is also, immature, quote unquote, because this is his first time, coaching an EPL team. And so it's just going to be a combination of that. But those are just kind of like my big takeaways, but we can get into the nitty-gritties later.
Okay. Evan, what do you think?
So I feel like the problem doesn't really start with Lampard and this junior squad that we have. It's been ongoing issue for Chelsea. If we cast our mind back from, let's say, after Conte's Conte spell through Sarri and then the transition here, I feel like we haven't really defined our stamp as to this is the philosophy that we're going to be going with. That has had an impact on the players or the type of recruitment that we bring into the team. So coming forward or fast forward into this season, I feel like most of the games that we played on preseason, we knew this is how Frank Lampard's going to be playing this game. It's going to be wide open games. Our defense, it's not going to be stopping. We're not going to be getting the most clean sheets that we anticipate to get, like the normal Chelsea that we know. And certain games that we played, like example, the first game against United away, I think, okay, we might have not been well prepared to play that game. But the transition after that, I feel like, okay, we're heading in the right direction. But looking at Chelsea consistently, there's one problem that I've actually noticed. That is, we cannot really finish in the final third. In all the games that we've played, and even if you compare the current squad that we had with the likes of Drogba, the likes of Lampard himself at the time that he was playing, you can see the difference. You can see that the gap is like really wide open, and you can't really hold a candle for it. Because, again, it goes back to experience. And, again, it goes back to the sort of leadership that you have in the team. I feel like right now with Chelsea, we don't have, like, a strong leadership. Like, back in the day when you had Terry, it's solid for you, right? Right now in the back, who can you really rely on? You cannot really rely on Zuma. I'm not calling players out, but that's one thing that I've really observed. And I feel like it's going to take a while, and this is what we've actually signed up for. So it's up people trying because I've already seen people like tweeting Lampard. I don't think it's right for them to start doing that right now. I feel like we need to embrace the change that we have and just grind it out. And then maybe next 2 seasons become the team that we were once known for as being like finishers or killers of the game. That's what I think we should do at this point. I don't really care about I'm concerned about finishing top 4, but I'm not really concerned about like all the results right now. The bottom line is at the end of the season, are you going to finish top 4? And if you can grind it out and finish top 4, that is an accomplishment for me. Again, when we started this season, the realistic expectation for Chelsea was not to finish in top 4, but maybe at least top 6. If we're all going to be honest and agree on that.
Well, but see, that's the thing. When we started, right? When we started giving up, when we started giving up so many goals, but we were scoring so many goals, our attack was excellent. And the problem was, we need better defenders. And Rudiger wasn't back. And I kept saying that if Rudiger comes back, it will help with partnership with either Zuma or Christensen or Tomori. Somebody has to work. Some combination of those two has to work out. Now, when we started winning these games, we were beating teams, outscoring teams. I think Kepa has kept like 3 clean sheets all season, right? So we were just outscoring teams. Now, we can't outscore teams anymore because we're not even scoring enough goals. We're not scoring enough goals to keep up with, the West Hams of the world. We got blanked at home against West Ham. We didn't score a goal. We got blanked at home against Bournemouth. And we saw when Tammy Abraham went out and then Lampard brought in Giroud. I think for the Everton game he did that, or one of those games, or Batshuayi. We don't have any reliable second option as a striker. Now, our problem went from not scoring enough, giving up so many goals, now we're not even scoring enough goals. Because defensively, we knew we weren't good enough, right? Defensively, since the beginning, we can't keep clean sheets. We can't keep clean sheets against Lille. We can't keep clean sheets against West Ham, Bournemouth, whoever, Everton, whoever you add, we just can't keep clean sheets. Now, the transfer window is coming up and it's been lifted. I'm not sure how many players we can honestly say we can get in January because teams usually don't want to sell their players. Because we desperately need a center back, big time, or a left back, because defensively we're just not good enough. How can we fix this? I don't know how, or even if it's possible to fix it. Derrick, and I know Daniel just came on, so I guess let me get Daniel's thoughts real quick, and then Derrick, I'll come back to you to see how we can fix this, because I don't know if we can fix it. Oh, okay, you know what? Derrick, you go first, because I think Daniel isn't ready. How can this be fixed? Or is this fixable? Or is this something that's like the honeymoon period is over, where the players were overachieving and everything was going so well? Now, is it a point where it's like we're going to start struggling? Because we looked at the table, Tottenham is coming up, right? Tottenham looked like they found their groove with Mourinho. And then Ole has gotten 2 big results against Mourinho and then Pep in back-to-back games. And now I know they just tied with Everton today, but they look like they're figuring stuff out with the young players. How can Chelsea fix this where we can get back to being a top 4, or like where we're not struggling to stay in the top 4, where we can actually just say that, you know what, we belong here? Because we had an 8-point lead and now it's down to 3.
I mean, if we look at it holistically, just to the point that Ibn made earlier on about the fact that, you know, we don't have leadership in the team and, you know, things like that, things along those lines. I feel that with Chelsea and where we are at right now, I feel with Lampard, there is a big chance that there's going to be continuity with a manager, which I feel good about. I feel if this guy continues to perform well, you know, maybe win as a league in another 2 years or something, he can be there. So that's the first problem fixed. Our continuity has to be there with managers. And number 2, you know, if you really look at the Chelsea team critically, about 60% of the players who are starting actually had never started in Premier League games ever before they started playing for Chelsea this season. And so there's a lot of inexperience in there. As to how we're able to grind those...
Wait, before you go, Derrick, and I hear this argument, and I've heard a lot of people say inexperience, but it wasn't inexperience when we were winning these games. Nobody.
That was exact. So that was the point I was going to draw too. But we've seen these same players grind out games previously, but now they can't seem to do that. And this is my hypothesis, right? This is what I think. I believe that with experience, you are, whether it's the manager or the players, both the managers and then the players need experience to grind out games when there is no obvious way to do it. And that is when I can pull teams like Liverpool, I can pull teams like Manchester City, I can pull, you know, teams like that, one, have had the players play with each other for a really long time. When there is a stalemate, when you can't really find your way around it, they're able to find a way around it.
But that's quality,
season,
isn't it?
Well, there's quality, but,
Correct.
you know, the quality is not like, you know, one player, you know, picking the ball, you know, from the back and then getting all the way into the goal, unless your son, that's a different story. But you need people who have been together for a while. You need people who are experienced so that when there's a stalemate and we don't know what to do, they can be able to use whatever formula they've used in the past to get us to the point that we want to get to. With these young players and what we have, I feel like whenever there is any type of bottleneck or limitation of games are getting too long, there are no goals, we just don't seem to have any response or any answer to how we can make it happen. You know, and I think that is just a matter of, because just look at yesterday's game versus the game we just lost. That was with the Bournemouth game, right? Look at the changes that Lampard was making. I was like, yo, how do you think these changes are going to give us a win? There's no way that it's going to give us a win. Like the players he's pulling out and the players he's bringing in, it just didn't make sense. You know, it's like we don't have a winning strategy. We don't have our go-to strategy when it comes to, okay, now things are locked up. We need a way to go around it, and then we can do it. I'll tell you this. Let's take a team like Man City, right? When Man City is really, really struggling, there are a few things they do. One, they move the ball to the wings a lot and have their wingers cut in and then pull the ball in.
Yeah, but Derrick, that's quality. Derrick, that's quality. You know the wingers you're talking about? You're talking about the wingers like, what do you mean, Sterling or Bernardo Silva? Or who else? I mean,
Sane, but you know, think about it this way. Sterling and all these guys that you're talking about, if you're looking at them as, you know, the experience and what they've done in the past, there's so much experience and so much talented. But I don't think the things they're doing, we can have some of our players do that. Pulisic is a very direct player. There are a lot of things that Sterling does that I believe that Pulisic can be able to replicate. Like if you ask Pulisic, hey, Sterling just did this, go back and do the same thing. He can be able to do that.
So it's a mindset thing, you think?
What was that?
The mindset thing.
I think it's experience. They just don't have, they haven't gotten to a point where they have the mentality of when things are this hard, this is the winning strategy or this is the winning recipe to get us there. You know, Liverpool has played really bad this season in so many games, especially at the beginning of the season, but they would always find a way of winning at the end. It's either they're going to bring in Origi or you're going to have Salah shoot from the back. Something comes up because they have different options they can try. But Chelsea, whenever there's a stalemate, you just can't see what we are trying to do to solve the problem. And that is where we're always left with.
I'm going to come back to that, but let me get Daniel's input on it, and Ibn, I'll come back to you because I kind of want to come back to what you're saying, and I feel like we're hindsight, and hindsight is 50-50, right? And it seems like I think we've been to the same situation early in the season that we came back, but I'll come back to that. That's what I'll come back, Daniel, who's late, but at least he showed up. As a United fan, I know you're, and I'm going to give you credit. I was telling the boys earlier that you said something a couple weeks ago that you don't think that Chelsea will finish top 4, but you also said that United will finish top 4, which is kind of like a double negative. But you were right on the first point. The second point, you were being a homer.
I mean, he's not right yet.
Well, no.
Correct. We have up to May. Why you just throwing out the towel like that? Like, no. Chill. We have up to May. Like, no, don't throw the towel like that. No.
Wait.
I'm not saying we're not finishing the top 4. I'm just saying Daniel's prophecy or whatever he has said hasn't quite happened.
Well,
because Jeff is making it sound like we're not in the top 4 anymore.
Exactly. Just let me know.
Yeah. His thoughts were solely on he hates Chelsea and not it was
no, Jeffrey, my thoughts were on this basis. Okay, let's take it this way. Mm-hmm. The reason why I said that because I think when I said that, you asked me about Leicester. Okay, it actually takes experienced players. Okay, and it actually takes an experienced coach to actually go through the Premier League like that. You know, you can actually be playing well. Derrick was actually speaking on that. But when you actually get to a point where, okay, we are supposed to go a different approach from the way we usually go. And that's when, one, you spoke about quality. Quality players actually get into play. And also experienced players also play a major role. You can be a quality player, but if you don't have experience.
Exactly.
When it actually comes to that, trust me, it's nothing you do is not going to work. But when you have the quality, you have the experience to match it. I think when, let me just take you back to today's game, okay? I'm not jumping into Man United yet, but remember, I actually spoke to you about we actually still having still difficulties in actually the Premier League. Look at this game. Taking the past 2 games that we played before coming into this game, you look at the Tottenham game. There was hunger there. It's probably because the top side.
No, go ahead.
because it's a top side, okay? So the hunger was there, and our approach towards the game was probably soak up the pressure and hit them on the break. But then when you actually get a team that are actually organized at the back and don't want to probably play you are probably going to have to find a way through them. And that is where experience, one, and quality comes into play. Back to what Derrick said. So back to what I said about Chelsea, you can have the quality, okay? But it actually takes experience, okay, to stay up and keep the momentum going. Do you get me, Jeffrey? So it wasn't on the basis of me hating Chelsea. One, Chelsea has a very young team. Young players can give you what you want at some point, but it won't be consistent. Two, hold on, Jeffrey. Let me land. Okay. Another point that you are actually having a young team being managed by a very young, let's say, inexperienced coach.
Yes,
very good. So you matching that, they can actually give a good match on a day and another day, so the consistency won't be there. So I say that's to hate Chelsea, but I was actually speaking on that view that you can have them perform on a day, and the day that's probably it actually takes that quality and experience that we are talking about. That is when it will be lacking.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
So
that's what. So it wasn't on the basis of me hating Chelsea, Jeffrey.
Okay.
It was.
Daniel, you're a Man U fan, but I must say that I agree with you on this one.
For Jimmy Soho. Okay. Yaga just joined us, so let me get Yaga's thoughts on it. Yaga, so we're talking about what's happened to Chelsea, and we just went down. I mean, we were flying high. You were excited as a United fan. You were excited about how Chelsea were playing. You were very sure that we were going to finish top four. You were excited about the young players. What has gone wrong so far that it seems like we're on a downtrend?
Hi guys. I'm sorry for being late. I didn't know, we're starting soon, so I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, guys, always late.
Well, yeah, always, right?
I'm sorry. But first of all, I mean, Chelsea is actually a young team, and you have an inexperienced manager in Frank Lampard. So basically, I think he actually wants to use his own. He actually wants to, use his own blueprint, stamp his own blueprint on the team, and actually using the young players coming through. And mind you, you guys didn't make any signings, right?
Yeah, I think your video went off.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but your video went off. Like it's.
Yeah, I think a call is coming through. That's what I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, you guys first of all didn't sign any players before the season started, right? So he had to go with the team he had at that point, and most of the players were young players coming from the ranks, right? I mean, you guys are not really doing good, but then at the end of the day, you guys are actually playing better than Arsenal, playing better than United. The football you guys are playing it. I think the problem now is keeping that consistency, right? And the winning mentality. The defense is not really in good shape. Attacking-wise, is actually good. Yesterday's game, I don't know what really happened. But, I mean, you have to give Frank Lampard time. He's a young coach. You guys have young players coming through the ranks. And now I think the transfer ban is over, so you can actually get some new players in.
Yeah,
so
but my thing is,
time. He's a young coach.
What are we going to get in January? That's my only thing.
Sorry?
What quality are we going to get in January? Because it doesn't seem...
You wouldn't get any quality in January, so you have to wait till the season ends.
Yeah.
But you have to be patient. He's a young coach. You have young players coming through the ranks, so you just have to be patient. I mean, you can't really put the pressure on him at this point. And I believe Chelsea actually assigned Lampard as a coach because you guys knew you would give him some time.
Yeah.
Chelsea wouldn't go for Lampard if they knew they wouldn't actually give him time.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like Derrick and Ibn, I'm pretty sure you guys would agree with me. We overachieved earlier, right? We did not expect Tammy Abraham to be scoring 12 goals in the league. And we were expecting Mason Mount. I mean, he slowed down a bit now, but we weren't expecting him to be on fire like he was early in the season. We weren't expecting Pulisic to be playing so well, right? So we overachieved to a certain extent, and the reason why I kind of want to say like it's not a mentality thing, because early in the season this same situation happened. I remember that Norwich game where we gave away 3 goals, but we were able to come back and score 4, right? All that stuff that you guys saying are where we don't have the experience and stuff. We've been tested before, and we came out with flying colors. And I can look at all these results because we were never winning game 2-0. We were not winning game 3-1. We were winning games 1-0, 2-1. Like we were grinding out results. We all knew that, right? And that's why I'm not sure if it's a mentality thing, because it's easier to say that when you start losing now. But these guys have been tested early in the season, and we went to a point where we were winning tight games. So when we start losing, because it's easy, and I was talking to my dad. My dad was saying like, "Oh, we just don't have experienced players. It's inexperienced." I'm like, it wasn't inexperienced when we were winning games. When we were
exactly.
At some point we were close to first. It wasn't inexperienced then, but we can't lose. When we start losing, they're like, "Oh, they don't have experience." I just don't think like that's a fair assessment to them. Like that's my only thing. If we're gonna have one way of saying things, because this Chelsea team is 4th, not because they are the 4th best team in the league, because the team that was supposed to challenge for that top 4 are not
playing well.
Right? They're not good. That's the only reason why we've lost 4 of the last 5 and we're still 4th. Right?
But,
so I guess I'm going to go around and give our last thoughts, but that's the only thing that I have about that thing, because it's easy to say that now when we're losing. Right?
But Jeffrey, I want to ask you a question, right? When you guys appointed Frank Lampard, did you think you guys would be in the top 4?
In the season preview,
like, what was your expectation? What was your expectation when you signed Frank Lampard?
It would be a stretch to give a manager his first year and not give him signings. And I actually thought that Tottenham would be much better, and I thought Arsenal would be much better than they are. So I wasn't sure, but I kind of predicted in my heart that we'll finish top 4, but it wasn't something I would be like, if we don't finish top 4, it's disappointment.
Are you kind of disappointed in the way you guys are playing?
I mean, I am now because of how high we were. If we had started off like, and it might be different because the way United is playing now, it's a high, because it's like, okay, from where you are to now, it's a high. It's all about where you start. You know what I mean? It's the projection of all things. We're on a downward spiral now. We qualify for Europe, that's fine, but we are going down from where we are.
How about probably teams have actually spotted how you guys play? Because when the season started, it wasn't good. You guys weren't playing good.
Yeah.
And then as you know, two to 3 games into the season, you guys started playing well.
Mm-hmm.
And how about probably teams have actually identified how you guys play now?
Correct. I feel like with Chelsea, people have kind of figured it out now. And
exactly.
You have a plan B, because what is Chelsea's plan B? Like when we
plan B.
Plan B.
So I feel like
Hudson-Odoi coming off the bench.
That is not enough. Hudson is right now. Like,
it's more so play attacking football. You know, put on the pressure. But then, what if this team sit back and watch you guys play? You can't break the teams. You know, so I think that is the problem now, and it's just gonna take some time. You know, I mean, he's a young coach. You have to actually understand what is going on now. He's a young coach. He doesn't have the players probably he would actually want. So let's see when the first season is over, give him some time to sign some players that he actually wants. And then from there, we could actually, you know, judge for Frank Lampard from that. But then, I mean, I was expecting you guys to do better. But then the way it looks, it feels like Spurs would actually catch up.
Well, we're going to talk about that, actually, because the next topic is we're going to wrap this up and then go to the next topic. Derrick, do you have any final thoughts before we end the segment?
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of all said it in different ways, and you know what is contributing to what it is. I think Chelsea would get better as the season progresses. The manager is going to get better. The players are going to get better. Will we still be in the top 4? Potentially. If we don't end up being in the top 4, I'm not going to get mad. I'm not going to get mad as a Chelsea fan.
Okay, so Eben, What do you think? What are your final thoughts on the Chelsea situation?
So as I said before, we haven't really built a culture after like transition from coaches to coaches. And I think with Lampard right now, we're now establishing the culture, right? So it's gonna be something whereby this season, if not even God forbid, if we don't finish in the top four, it's not a shock for me. I don't think it's a bad season, but at the same time, that is not the expectation for Chelsea Football Club. But ultimately, I think Chelsea is still capable of finishing top four. This is the Premier League. Anything can happen, and I still believe in Chelsea, and I think we're going to finish top four.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
My expectations for Chelsea, as at this point, I don't really think they'll finish top four. But then, you know, the rate at which the league is going, because the other teams, United, Arsenal, and Spurs, are not actually catching up. You know what I'm saying? So it makes it difficult. You guys can finish top four, but I really don't see that because the rate at which you guys are playing now, it can only get worse unless something is fixed. You know, if you guys have a plan B, then that would actually change everything. But I don't know. Is Rudy got back?
Yeah.
And ROC is back.
And how is he coping? How is he, like, what is his partnership? Like, how is he playing?
He played well, but he's still getting his legs back. But let me get back. Evan, so do you think Chelsea will finish top four?
Yes. You know why I say that, and you know why I'm confident.
But Evan, you can. Okay, go ahead.
No. Let me say this. Let me be real. The reason why I think Chelsea will finish top four, honestly speaking, though, like all jokes aside. Remember Sarri's season, right?
Yeah.
We started off really well, and then we went downhill. Around like starting from like November to the end of January-ish and February.
Yeah.
And we kind of like kick back up.
Yeah.
I feel like this is the same thing that we're going through. And as I said before, this transition thing that we've been going through, it doesn't make any sense. We had the problems of not signing players. I think that is the same squad. It's expected. So after this season, if we're able to finish top four, I wouldn't be surprised. But if we're able to sign players coming August, or starting May into August of next year, and this same issue happens, then it's a Chelsea mentality, which I think can be eradicated anytime soon.
Then the question is, do you think you guys will finish top four?
Yes, I just answered the question.
Yeah, he said yes. Okay, let me ask Derrick. Do you think we'll finish top four? As of right now, December 15th.
I'm really on the fence on that one. If we had played the Spurs game, I probably could have been able to tell you. But at this point...
So if we win it's a Spurs game, do you think we'll finish top four?
If we win the Spurs game, we wouldn't. We
won't finish top four.
We wouldn't. But I wanted to see that game. I wanted to see how we play in that game.
Well, as of right now, as things constructed.
With the way Spurs...
If you were to put money on it.
With the way Spurs is coming in, I feel like Chelsea will be kicked into fifth or sixth.
Okay.
So yeah, I trust Mourinho to get a top four or the fourth position better than I trust Lampard right now. If I'm
exactly. I think I second that.
That's fair. Daniel, what do you think? I already know what you think. You already told us what you thought.
At this point,
I would have to agree with Derrick.
I can't change my mind on that.
Okay. So I guess we'll not. I honestly, I think we're gonna finish top four. You know why?
Okay.
Because I think that every team goes through hard times, and it's just you're always gonna go through something, and it's just one of those things where it's happened. I think, and I remember after the United game, I said this. I think defensively, it can be fixed because it's a partnership thing. But attacking football, you can't teach that. Either you have it or you don't. You can't teach the team to play attacking football with scrubs. And I honestly think the battles, because I think Leicester, we all agree Leicester is going to finish top four because they are hot right now, unless anybody disagrees. City will finish top four. Liverpool will win the league, right?
Definitely.
So it's between Chelsea, Spurs, and maybe United. I don't think Arsenal will be.
Jeffrey,
yeah.
If you had actually watched the game, you were talking about in defense, it can or it could be worked out, but attacking wise, you can actually teach attacking. If you watched the game yesterday, Chelsea was actually lacking.
Yes.
Like they had nowhere to go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm actually saying that, these are the learning curves for teams like Chelsea, Man United. One, you are actually having more of young players combined with an inexperienced coach. You're actually going to go through that much, learn from it. So to say that you're actually going to finish top 4, realistically, that's not going to be possible. But I won't be surprised. If that actually happens. Okay, I won't be surprised if that happens.
So you can't stay on both. I don't think. You know why? And let me tell you guys. You know why I think so? Because I don't think that honestly Spurs and United are going to be consistent enough. That's the only reason. I don't think.
Man United are not going to be consistent.
Yeah, United is not.
Man United are not going to be consistent. If you actually look at the game that we played today, I mean, come on. Okay. You were given the chance today to move up the ladder. Looking at the games that you have through to Christmas, come on. You had the opportunity to close in on Chelsea. And look at the game that we had today. Flat.
Okay, we're gonna go there. So I
was actually confused at a point. I'm like, wait, what are we talking about?
Daniel. He always, this is what Daniel does. Every single time we're talking on something, he always makes it about his team. Like we're talking about something else. But let's segue.
We can't talk about United now.
Yeah. I don't segue to the Spurs thing because I think I raised a lot of eyebrows and I said that I think Chelsea will be more consistent to finish top 4 than Spurs. You guys disagree, it seems like.
I disagree. I think Spurs at the moment they're actually going to be consistent. At this point, I think Mourinho has figured out his team, and I think they'll be consistent.
Yeah, so I agree with Donald. I agree with Donald on that. I wouldn't say Mourinho has figured out the entire team. He still has some work to do, but I trust in 2 things. He has experienced players and he's an experienced manager. Exactly. And with those 2, I have more faith in that he's going to create consistent, performances week after week versus Chelsea, who has the opposite of that. Immature manager and immature players.
So let me ask
I second that.
Let me ask this before. They won that game in the last minute against Wolves. And I was watching the game. Wolves were all over them. So I'm going to say the pros. The pros are the experienced players that grind out results. The cons are anything could have happened in that game. If they had tied the game, would you still be optimistic on?
You know why they would not tie that game? Because they have those 2. Let's look at Liverpool's season this season, right? The first 10 or 8 games, they would win like a 2-1 or like a 1-0.
1-0.
Things like that. It will only happen at the very end of the game. That's when they will score. And that is what a mature team and a mature manager can be able to produce.
Exactly, Mr.
That
Derrick.
I don't think Chelsea has right now.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. All the points you guys are making are fair, but this is the thing with Mourinho, and I think this is the same thing. Spurs could go through the same thing that they did. Come March, April, because it's still new. It's still a honeymoon period. I know Mourinho is the new guy that's, being nice with the players and the ball boys and all that stuff. That's all good and well. But if we're being honest, there is something, because it's new. Everything is new. All they did the same thing, and I'm pretty sure even the Everton coach is doing the same thing. Right? The new manager comes in.
Come on.
No, let's be real.
Mourinho like that.
You can't
have a point.
You can't compare, Duncan Ferguson with Mourinho.
Come on, Mourinho like that.
No, I'm not comparing their CVs. I'm I'm comparing the effect that a new manager does on the team. It's happening at United.
Can he say the same thing for Arsenal, though?
But if you know
No, but it's not a permanent manager, though. Arsenal does not have a coach. They have an assistant that's been moved into interim.
The same thing with Everton.
No, but that guy's a club legend.
Club legend. So Ljungberg
is a club legend.
Arsenal's case is an anomaly. That one doesn't count.
Come on, Jeff. Just stop it.
Mourinho, what do you think about Mourinho?
So, Jeff, I just want to ask you this simple question, right? So you think Lampard will get Chelsea into top 4 as compared to Mourinho? Is that what you think?
This is what I think. This is what I think, and I think this is what I think is going to play out. Chelsea are going through hard times.
Jeff, speak with your head and not your heart, please.
No, I am.
Just answer my question.
You know why? You know why I'm saying that? Because I honestly think that this Chelsea team, the season that they had earlier, it's not a fluke. They can catch that. They can get that magic back. It's just that they're going through hard times that they have to figure out. And I think that they can. We're getting players back, right? We're going to get Ruben Loftus-Cheek back. We have Rudiger back who's getting his legs back, right?
What difference is Loftus-Cheek going to make? What difference?
I think he's a good player, but that's different.
He's going to make a huge difference?
Like, moving forward, I think him and Kovacic are good.
I think he's a player in the midfield that we don't have.
Yeah.
I think he's a
But you
midfield
think
player
he's going to
that
make
we
a
don't
huge
have.
difference? I'm not doubting the fact that he's a good player. You think he's going to make a huge difference?
Yeah, because there's nobody in the Chelsea midfield that's like him. Do you get what I mean? Like, there's nobody.
Because if you put Ruben Loftus-Cheek and then what's this guy's name? The other guy.
Kovacic.
No, not Kovacic. I'll CAM right now.
Huh?
Kovacic,
Jorginho.
Jorginho?
No, not Jorginho. The young guy, the attacking guy.
Oh, Mount.
Pulisic.
Mount. If you gave me a Ruben Loftus-Cheek and a Mount, there's no way I'm going to choose Mount over Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
Yeah, so that's I think you're selling. The reason why I say that, Yaga, is because he can do things that as a midfield 3. I don't even think he's going to play in the midfield, but I think it's a midfield on the wing. As a midfield 3, I think he does something different. And I'm even more excited about Rudiger coming back than Loftus, because I know this is second game back. And if you actually look at it, defensively we're back. We're just not scoring goals. So if we get that continuity back, Rudiger hasn't played with Zuma ever. And I think when the partnership gets better, I think it's going to be much tighter. And that's the only thing. I honestly think, let me finish this real quick. I honestly think that Mourinho thing will work, but I just do not see it being, because I saw them against Bayern and they got swept. I just do not see it working out long term. Honestly, that's just me.
Yeah, of course, we all know Mourinho is not a long-term manager. Are we talking about this season?
No, this season, long term. I'm talking 3 months from now.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if the Bayern game is a good example.
Yeah,
I just have my reservations about that game.
We saw him lose to Ole too, but let's not even talk about that.
Because United, we killed the Big Six. You know that. So please, I mean, United, just compare records against Big Six, the Big Six, and then the other half of the table. We've been killing it.
Jeff, let's move to the next topic, I guess.
Please.
We'll get there, but let me get Eben to get his What do you think about Mourinho's thing, and what do you think it's? I mean, because you said they were going to finish 10th, so I don't know.
I'm not going to change my take on it. I still
think you're going to finish 10th.
You still think they'll finish 10th?
Hey, come on. It's a long season. Come on.
Stop it.
Come on.
Dude.
Why do you think Spurs is going to finish 10th?
It's a long season.
It's
a long season.
I think Eben has been speaking with his heart, not his head.
How do you possibly think?
But like, all jokes
aside, it's not
No.
real. Like,
The only thing I'll say is,
not going to finish 10th. No, it's not possible.
yeah, if you say they will finish outside top 4 or maybe outside top 7, then maybe. But 10?
Outside top 7.
I don't even think so.
No, outside top 7, it's not going to be possible.
It's not possible.
Mourinho, come on.
No, Jeff, you said outside top 7. What is outside top 7?
8.
What's the difference between 8th and 10th? Please, it's the same thing.
But like all jokes aside though, although they've been playing good football and everything, again, if the honeymoon period is over and Mourinho's ego kicks in, we know, and he has done it before. Mm-hmm. With Chelsea at one point, he was a 10th. What's the surprise about that?
No, that was a difference.
No, with Chelsea, because first of all,
I think it's the same thing.
Mourinho starts messing up during his second season.
Third
season. Like what else?
Mourinho's first season is always good. Please, just stop it. I think we're disrespecting Mourinho. Come on.
I'm not trying to disrespect him, but again, he went to a rival. listen, he went to a rival, and I know how he is in terms of human relations. If his ego kicks in, is capable of him finishing 10th. Like, this is Mourinho. He's done it before. What stops you?
Okay, HR manager.
Okay, Daniel, what do you think? All right, let me go to Derrick. Derrick, what do you think? Then I'll come to you, Daniel.
You mean about Mourinho and finishing?
Like
Mourinho
how like the Mourinho situation, how he has them playing well, and where do you think they're gonna end up as of right now? Chelsea was placing under
yeah. I mean, Jeff, you know that I am a Mourinho fan. Mm-hmm. Let me just put that out there. You know, it doesn't matter the team that he is managing. I just love that guy. Most of you probably wouldn't agree with me on this, but I think Mourinho is actually a really changed man now.
Oh, no, he is.
I don't think some of the issues that he has had to deal with in the past are going to keep following him. I feel like things are going to be so much different moving forward.
Even when things go bad, you sure he's not going to throw Harry Kane under the bus?
The only problem I have with Mourinho is he is probably one of the older managers that we have now. And sometimes the problem with the older managers is they get to a point where they lack ideas and they can't grind games out and things like that. Those hiccups sometimes come up and it becomes a problem for, some of the teams. If you ask me his first, second, third season, I can tell you this. Within the next 3 years, out of the next 3 seasons that we have, I think Spurs is going to win the league in one of them, personally, if they have Mourinho. And that's just my take. If things go the way I think things are going to go, Spurs are they're actually on track to win the league in the next 3 years, either next year or the following.
Hey, that's a big call.
That's what I think about Mourinho.
That's a big call. I mean, we can't deny the fact that Mourinho is a great manager. But I actually feel like they will actually be in the top 4. Come on. I don't think Chelsea at this point will make any difference. Like, because at the rate with Spurs is playing, it's only going to get better. And as Derrick said, you could tell clearly that Mourinho is a change man. I don't know if he's doing it for the camera, but then you could tell he's a different man. And of course, I expect him to be a different coach at this point because, his relationship with players back in Chelsea and United has actually messed up his, coaching stats or whatever it is. So at this point, if he doesn't learn from, those mistakes, then Mourinho, we can't support you anymore. So I think at this point, he knows what he's been doing wrong and he's ready to correct it. And if he can do that, I don't see no reason why they wouldn't do good. Because they have quality players all over. So why, if he changes his behavior towards players, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, I see them in the top 4. I actually do. And probably for the 5th position, it's going to be between United and Chelsea.
There's a reason why Mourinho actually stayed away from coaching for a while. I think when he was actually asked about he taking the challenge at first and all that, I think it was like he's now ready. He actually went away for some time, enjoyed the game, not being a coach. And I think he's actually learned his mistake. And if he is to repeat his mistake again, I don't know what will be next for him. Because, he has actually come out to say that he actually went away and he actually agreed that there were some things that he have done, and now he's actually ready to probably take on a new challenge and probably fix what's went wrong at other clubs. And I don't think he will actually make the mistake this time. But if he does, I don't know what's next for Mourinho.
Jeff, can I add one more thing? Yeah. I forgot to add. Another thing I think about Mourinho is with the Spurs team, I also feel like it's a perfect match for him in the sense of Mourinho is that person who wins everywhere he goes. Worst case scenario, he's gonna go with a trophy every season. Like it's his thing.
Yeah. I told Jeff that.
Win the big games for you. Like I don't remember any season Mourinho went the entire season and it didn't win anything. Well, he wins something somewhere. Well, did he go the whole season?
Oh yeah, Chelsea when he came. Remember?
The first time?
When he came, he won the league. What are you talking about?
No, the first time.
His first season, he won the league for you guys.
The first time. Remember the following season? No.
Mourinho's first year, he won the league.
Yeah.
No, he won the calling. Go ahead.
Yeah, but the point I'm trying to make is he's somebody who wins cups.
At every team he goes to.
Every team he goes unless he doesn't finish the season. But
did he win a trophy with you guys every full season he was there? I can't remember. United.
No, he won something. Like so, he was there for 2.5 years.
Did he win? I can't remember. That's what I'm asking.
No, I mean last season, he was kicked out. He didn't get a whole season.
Yeah. I'm saying he finished the season
because Mourinho won the Europa League and then he won the I believe the Carling Cup.
Community Shield. Yeah.
Community Shield.
That's it. Yeah.
I mean, we can't include Community Shield, but then he won the Carling Cup and then the Europa League.
The Carling Cup, the UEFA, and the Community Shield.
Exactly.
But we can't include the Community Shield anyway.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So the point I'm trying to make is with him, you're assured that he can win you cups. Mm-hmm. And Spurs is at that point where they're like, we don't want a manager who's going to make us play well because we can play well. We can do all that. We want somebody who can win cups for us. And that's why I feel like this is...
Exactly.
Sorry, what was that?
I'm like, that's the point I made last week. Exactly.
Yeah. I think a lot of people agree with you on that.
Exactly. So this is a perfect marriage, and that's why I feel so excited about Mourinho in Spurs and what he's going to do. Anyway, let's.
Okay.
That's the point I wanted to make.
We're going to go to the United situation with Ole, but I'm going to add this. Mourinho can also win what do you call it? FA Cup and come in 7th. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
Yep.
So Ole
it's so possible
he can do that too.
He can finish 7th and still win the FA Cup. So if that's what you want, yeah, you can have it. Okay. So let's finish off the episode with Ole. And United had a big week. A big 4 or 5 days. They beat Tottenham. Was it a home game?
A home game.
They beat Mourinho, same Tottenham at home. What was it? What was the score? 2-1? 2-1? Oh, yes. Of course you don't remember. Then they go away to Manchester City.
We tore them apart.
Really again.
Make sure you include that. We tore them apart.
And you know what the interesting thing about this, we wanted to have an episode last week, but we couldn't. And it was the high point of United's season. And then Everton happened, where they tied to Everton. So the title of the video was going to be different from now. Let me start Yaga. Why, what has worked for Ole? Because I think that it seems like when Ole plays against big teams, the counter-attacking football fits the team perfectly, right? They have wingers that are quick.
Exactly.
They don't have a lot of creativity, but if they have Rashford and Martial running off the shoulder of the players,
it seems
like it works better. Man City had all the ball, but it seemed like the players were just much more quicker. But when they play against the weaker teams sit back and they have to you need a midfielder to unlock it, and they just don't have that, right?
Exactly.
So it seems like because they did the same thing to us the first game of the season, they ripped us apart with the pace. We could not hold none of these players.
You're right about that.
So because obviously Ole won't play against Liverpool, Chelsea, United every week. He's going to have to play against Everton and Bournemouth, Burnley, and teams that are going to step back. What has to work for Ole? Like, what did you take out of the 2 games that they won and now that, I guess, it's coming up?
I mean, Jeff, you said it all. You said it all. So when we playing against the quality teams, they actually play, open football, and then we actually get them on the counter, right? And then when we play the other teams, they sit back. the problem with United is we don't have a creative midfielder, right? So we can't unlock these teams. So now if these teams are sitting back, we can actually unlock. We can't play the football. We just stay stagnant. We can't do anything. So we lack creativity. If we could get a good creative midfielder, I think United will be good. But at this point, we don't. So we know when we're playing big teams, we could actually unlock them because big teams actually play better football, and then it creates space on the other half of the park, and then that's where we use our pace. Rashford, James, and then Martial. But then if we play these other teams, we can unlock these teams. And if you actually look at it, I think this season, the only draw Liverpool has is actually with United, right?
Yes. I think
exactly. So that's what I'm saying. We all know we can play the big teams, but then the smaller teams, we cannot play them. And then we know the reason why. So I'm thinking and I'm hoping that if Pogba comes back, right, we could actually take our Lingard and then push Pogba forward a little bit and then see how that works. Because now I like Scott McTominay's and Fred's combination. I think they actually, I mean, they're not exciting midfielders to watch, but then they actually have that chemistry between them. So if we could actually get Pogba back fit, we could actually take our Lingard and then push Pogba towards, the third half of the park, and then let's see what happens. If not, it's always going to be a draw with the other teams.
Quick question for you, Donald. So between Fred and McTominay, if one of them is injured, who would be the next best player?
At this point, I would say Matic. I mean, because we don't have anybody. So if hopefully that doesn't happen, but if it happens, the only option is Matic. If we want to play Pogba up front. Yeah. But then if not, then we would have to play Pogba and either Fred or McTominay or whatever his name is. But I don't know. We need that creative midfielder.
So the reason I asked you that is you guys shouldn't run into a problem of, okay, we know Fred and McTominay works really well, and then if one of them is injured, it's almost like you hit the reset button, and the whole Man United team, they're like, oh, we're rebuilding our team just because.
No. Well, Fred is not good enough to be rebuilding anything with him.
As United fans, at this point, there's nothing we're rebuilding, okay? Ever since Ferguson retired, we spent over $1 billion, right? So, I mean, the rebuilding period is over. We have to actually ground. If we want to stick with these young players, as we claim, talking about, oh, this is the 4,000th time we played, I don't care about that. Okay, we need the results. We need to show that we've actually signed some players, and then actually we have to put it. I don't know. It's just frustrating to watch my team. It's just
So you don't think that all these two big results make any change, any difference?
No, of course. As a United fan, of course, I'm excited. We play the big guys. We actually get
results. But do you think it will change the outlook of the team? Has it changed your thoughts from before the game, where you thought you guys will finish, to now? Do you think?
Yeah, of course. At this point, they're playing good football. I think they're playing good football. Because listen, if Solskjaer would have lost the game against Spurs and City, I think he would have been out by now. Because the pressure was mounting on him. I could tell. I felt it. Because if he lost against Spurs, if he lost against Spurs and City, I probably would have actually gotten Pochettino. I think so. I don't know, but I think that changed everything because everybody was talking about the big week and all that, and that changed everything. And then we go back to Everton, and then we play this back. I don't know, man. I don't know. But I think the board believes in him, so let's give him some time. But then we're running out of time, man.
All right, Daniel, what do you think?
My take. Donald, why are you laughing? My honest issue is that yes, it's good to win against a top 6 side. No, that is a good thing. But what Ole doesn't understand is that on the back of that win, he felt his team was strong enough to probably move forward. But here's the case. Here's the reality where, as Aben was actually stating, that the big teams will actually open up for a counter-attack football. But when the small teams actually set up or set back compact to play, you need someone to probably unlock, create something. Do you get it? So, and that is where the problem actually right now. We don't have a very big squad. You guys were talking about what if Fred, any of them actually get hurt right now. We don't have a good replacement for them. So right now, moving forward, I would probably think that the squad one has to be taken to actually help the team move forward. Looking at today's game, Man United were actually set up to actually gain on Chelsea, close on Chelsea for the top 4 position. But look what happened. They played very good football in a space of 4 days against 2 big sides in the Premier League. And we won, 1 at home and 1 at away. But we were set up to close in on Chelsea today, and we failed to do that. So this actually comes in when I'm actually talking about 1, inexperienced coach, 2, you actually having a thin squad, and you actually lacking a creative midfielder.
Okay.
So I have a question for Daniel and then for Donald. If you had to, well, hopefully Pogba is back, but if you had to sign another attacking midfielder now, who would that be? Who would be that person you can vouch on to unlock smaller teams when the game is in a stalemate?
Do you mean who's available? Because
available, exactly. Because if you ask me who I want, I have to tell you a lot of players.
Availability is the problem. January, you are really not going to get quality in January.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
because we were actually looking at Madison, okay? We were actually looking at Madison, and Madison is going to be available in January.
Okay.
Do you get it? And in other words, we are also looking at another option forward, as in Ellen Highland.
Okay.
But what Haaland?
Yeah, he's a striker, right?
Forward, right?
He's a striker.
Yeah, he's a striker.
No, he's a striker. But the thing is that if things are not actually working, you wouldn't really need someone like a Marshall sort of thing. Do you get it? You want a different option up front. Do you get it? Like probably maybe cross.
Yeah, the big
balls striker. In. Do you get what I'm saying? A big striker thing. You get it? Yeah, so that's when you actually go with plan A, it's not working. Probably you actually switch to plan B. So Haaland will probably give us another option, okay? But looking at things right now, I think his agents want to probably move to Man United, probably taking him to Dortmund and probably delay his move to Man United. That is what is actually happening right now. So with Man United actually going forward, I think the only player that will probably available for United to probably go from plan A to plan B is probably having a different option up front, as in a striker. That is probably Haaland. So that is to your answer, Derrick.
Yeah, Donald, what's your thought on that?
I mean, I would say if Ericsson is still available, we
have a few.
Ericsson?
Wait,
yes.
We have
Spurs.
So try to. I think it's gonna end soon. So go ahead.
If we could get Ericsson, why not?
Ericsson.
Yeah, Ericsson will be a good fit for United.
Okay, Eben, let me get you in real quick because I think you haven't.
So if you're getting Ericsson,
you're not extended, by the way.
Just even think about it, like, how is he going to fit? How does he fit in the system?
Ericsson is a creative midfielder. What are you talking
about? Just put him in at 10.
So if we have Ericsson, we could actually play a diamond formation.
It works. I mean.
Yep.
Okay.
What Evan, you just say what you want to say. I want to hear that part. What do you want to say?
I'm not going to say. I'll wait for the next one.
Next episode, we're gonna. Okay, so I think we're gonna end it here. Let me get everybody's final thoughts and say goodbye. I think Daniel, you want to go first?
Yeah.
Quick, because it's gonna end.
Yeah. So starting on my view about Chelsea, you guys are actually going to miss top 4. And going on with United, I think we will probably make a 5th or 6th position. We are actually not going to make the top 4 because we are not consistent. I think that's probably what I have to say.
Okay, Derrick, quick.
I mean, I still believe in my team, Chelsea. Maybe not this season, but moving forward, I have a lot of faith in the team. I am very passionate about Mourinho and excited about the things that he can do for sure. Yes. So overall, I think Chelsea is in a good spot. We can only get better. With this season, I am skeptical about us, finishing top 4. If we do, it will be great, but I'm skeptical about that. But I know for sure that Man United is not finishing above us. That I can say.
Okay. Yaga, do you want to respond?
A little wrap up. I mean, the only thing I would say is, okay, fine. Probably we might not finish above you guys, but I know what the next meeting at Stamford Bridge, you're gonna win that game. Provided we win against Chelsea, I have no problem.
That's actually that. So,
but I mean, of course, that is true. I mean, my top 4 would be, Liverpool, Leicester City, Man City, and then Spurs, and then probably Chelsea 5th, United 6th.
Okay,
that's what's gonna happen.
Amen.
And I just hope United will get better, and we can also grind results against the smaller teams. That's what I hope for. Yeah. Let's see what happens. You never know, because the Premier League is always full of surprises. So you never know.
Wolves is waiting for you.
So
all you know, probably Wolves might probably finish above Chelsea and United.
You never know.
You never know.
But what?
I will stop supporting Chelsea if that happens.
No, at least what Derrick said was Man U won't finish. So if we won't finish above Chelsea, as long as Man U does not finish above Chelsea, party.
You're good.
I have this question for the 3 of you. Why do you guys hate United so much?
Hey, that's another story for another question. Hey, what do you think?
No, it baffles me all the time. Like, so if Wolves finish above you guys, you're okay. But if United finish above you guys,
I am not okay.
okay.
No,
I'm not okay. I'm not okay. I want to finish top 4.
Yeah, I'm not okay. No.
So with me, my realistic expectation, as I said before when we did the season preview, Chelsea finishing in top 4, and I'll go for 3rd. But looking at it right now, I don't think we're going to finish 3rd. I'll be hopeful that we'll finish 4th.
Wait, you want to finish 3rd?
He thought we were going to finish 3rd beginning of the season.
Oh, we all did.
I thought 4th, but
yeah. So now,
so you still don't think Mourinho and Spurs will finish top 4?
He said he'll finish 10th.
Yeah,
that's going to happen. You guys won.
I keep asking him. Maybe he'll give me a good answer. But he's
I'm gonna give you a good answer off air, but anyway. Okay. Anyway, also looking at some of the issues that Chelsea have right now, which is one, not being able to finish in the final 3rd. I think if Column is supposed to get in the right state of mind, meaning playing football without any fear, that might change our season, hopefully. Also, if Chelsea players are getting much more confident in the final 3rd, we'll definitely be scoring goals going forward. That was our problem right now. That's what we lack. And I feel like, again, once we develop a team over time, we will get over that hiccup. So that should be it. And with United, they're on the road. I think they're doing okay. As I said, I don't see them finishing above Chelsea, and if that happens, it's a miracle, and that would be my final thought.
That would be a miracle. Come on now.
With Mourinho, as I said before, with Izzo's personality, if it doesn't kick in, then amen. But if it does kick in, then expect them to finish 10th.
Okay. All right. So I guess I'll end it. I still think United will be okay, but I don't see them as, maybe I'm hopeful here, but I think Chelsea will finish top 4. I think they have enough in them. I think they're going through a bad time. They're going to go through hard times and come back playing how they were and getting players back. And I think that's probably what's going to catapult us to the top 4. Well, we are in there already, but I think better days are ahead. I don't think they're going to keep going down this slide for a long time where they'll finish outside the top 4.
You keep saying you get players back. How many players are you getting back?
Well, Rudy gets back, and we're getting Loftus-Cheek back.
That's it.
Yeah, that's players.
Come on. Okay.
When is Loftus-Cheek coming back?
Well, they're saying January, but I don't, and I honestly, and that's why I don't think I'm the biggest player, and I've been saying it since the beginning of the season, is Rudiger. Rudiger is back. His partnership with either Zuma, and I think Zuma is probably going to be his partner. The partnership between
why not the other guy?
Tomori. I'm not sure because lately, I think Tomori was falling off a bit. He was a bit shaky.
I prefer Tomori to Zuma. Zuma is always unaware.
I do also, but I think Lampard is going for the much more experienced player. But I think Tomori will get back into the starting lineup. But the biggest player I think is Rudiger coming back. He's gonna watching the game. I think if you look at it, they're actually playing better. If you actually look at it defensively, we just got to get our attacking.
Yeah.
So who do you prefer? You prefer Rudiger partnership with Zuma or Rudiger with Tomori?
I think Rudiger with anybody would work because I think what Chelsea lacked was an organizer.
Zuma is he's very sloppy.
Yes, he is. He is very suspect, and he doesn't track his runners and all that stuff. But I still think that with Rudiger back there, organization skills would do well. And then that's probably where I think when we get our defensive shape at a good point where we're not conceding so many goals, our attacking is going to come along. That's really what I think. All right, so thank you guys for watching. That's our episode 9. It's a very long episode because we had 5 guests on there. We had special guest Derrick coming through. Thank you, Derrick, for
thank you, for coming through
for us.
And Derrick, you're always welcome to join us.
Yes, always welcome to join us. Just let me know when you can make it. And the more Chelsea fans we have on this panel, the better.
But you know the funny thing?
Yeah.
Ever since Arsenal started playing bad, I've never had he's never been on.
Brad has not showed up since Arsenal.
He was on the last episode that we recorded last week.
All right. So from me, from Eben, from Derrick, from Yaga, from Daniel, who just logged off. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next episode. Peace.